Hey my friend! How are you? Today I am going to talk about the cause of nasal polyps. Get rid of nasal polyps permanently and safely using the step-by-step guide called Nasal Polyps Treatment Miracle. Click the link below in video description to get instant access now. Nasal polyps can be identified as small or large, teardrop-shaped masses of mucus. They are usually fairly movable and result from inflamed tissue in the passages of your nose and upper airways. They usually start high up in the nose and grow over time, as your irritation increases. They are non-cancerous, and can result from a number of reasons. If you are born with a deviated septum resulting in a slightly skew nose, or if you had an accident that causes your nose to be deformed, then this can result in these mucus masses growing over time. Another more common reason for them to appear is if you suffer from allergies which inflames and irritates the tissue in the nose. Even poor air quality, like being shut up in a stuffy room for hours, or living in an area where the air has a lot of pollution in it, can trigger the growth of nasal polyps. Get rid of nasal polyps permanently and safely using the step-by-step guide called Nasal Polyps Treatment Miracle. Click the link below in video description to get instant access now. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon.